This video tonight is going to talk about some tips and tricks to use when scavenging parts from a microwave oven. I'm going to talk about some parts in the magnetron that most people don't even realize that are there. I'm going to show a simple way on the microwave fan to get the coil out of its encasement, if you will. And I'll talk a little bit about the synchronous motor in the microwave oven. Here we have the magnetron. Most people of course know the two big magnets are in there, and they usually go, I usually start on the side there, pry open the sides with a chisel and work both sides and see which one works easiest to get the thing apart. The main thing, you're going to have to go into one of the corners here and get one of those clips off to get the thing open. Once you get the clips loose, which I have to use the chisel to do, you get one side free, then you can lift it up and the other clips will just bend back out of the way. And of course you get the first magnet off there. And you still have the radiator that will slide right out, these little mesh radiator things, except these clips are in the way. I normally grab both sides and just pry it with my hands apart. All you have to do is clear those clips to get this part straight out. And then you're down to the second magnet, and there's a stiff coil of wire that runs through that magnet. Most people just pull that thing, that stiff coil, just far enough to cut it to get the second magnet. But if you pull it all the way out, you will find something very interesting deep inside the bottom of that stiff wire coil. You will find these little ferromagnetic rods, if you will, which are excellent to use in coils. Most people that watch Lid Motor have seen him wind sewing bobbins with coils, and if you want a core for these things, these are just the right size. You take it and it's going to be a little loose. You just glue it in there and you cut it off the sides if you want it to come out even, or you can just leave it sticking off. So that's where they're located, at the very bottom of the stiff wire. And that's what they look like. They have a little bit of glue on them. You can clean that off. Makes them look a little bit better. Okay, the interesting trick when trying to get to the coil in the fan in a microwave, most people can get the thing disassembled down to this stage fairly easily. And a lot of people have videos out there about how to pull these wires out. Really hard to do. These wires, start prying one plate at a time off to get this big plate assembly off. But if you notice, the big plate assembly has a weak spot. If you were Superman and could squeeze it right there, the thing would open right up. And that's what you need, because there's nothing holding right here except pressure. So if you get it to open up, you get those plates off very quickly. I don't show my left hand over here. You need to lightly hold this with your left hand, the coil part. You hit with a hammer right on that corner as hard as you can, once or twice, and what that does, it opens that thing right on up. The coil comes right on out, and there you go. You got a coil. And of course we're not going to forget to get the synchronous motor out of the bottom. Instead of taking the whole case apart, sometimes I just go in with a chisel. There's light metal there that you can just cut a couple little spots and get that plate back. It comes off real easy. And then you just have one screw holding the synchronous motor, cut the wires, pull the thing right on out. So I have, let me go to a different place here. I have an instructable of sorts out on Flickr of how to take this motor apart to get to its coil, I'll put a link in the video. This particular one I'm describing is a high resistance synchronous motor I buy from China. But the one in the most microwaves, they come apart exactly the same, except for one little step I'll show you at the end here. And this has text, if you open up the pictures, talking about taking this thing apart. Last little step here. The ones I buy online, you can easily take this piece off. At the end it slides right back. On most microwave motors, this might be glued, and so you would damage the tiny wires right there. So you might want to skip this step on a scavenged coil from a synchronous motor, because it might not slide easily off. But for this particular one that I buy from China, you can slide it right off with no problem. Also, the one I buy online is a 12,000 ohm coil. So this Flickr instructable is talking about using this coil in a particular project because it needs 12,000 ohms. If you use the scavenged coil in this project, which is normally about 3,000 ohms out of a regular microwave, you could just add an 8,000 ohm resistor right there off the coil, one side or the other, take it up 12,000 ohms, and this project would work. So what we've got over here, let me move the camera a little bit, is an example of using that coil in a simple circuit. This is just a Hall effect sensor, a couple of batteries there, and the coil from the microwave oven. Good thing on a lot of your projects, your core in here will slide in and out, so you can play with adjusting your core. The project here that shows how to take apart that synchronous motor is for building one of these spinners like this right here. And let's see what else we have. That's about it for today. So hope you enjoyed the video.